Fixing South Sudan. Tune into Fixing South Sudan show every Saturday from 6 p.m. Spark your creativity on how you can join fixing the nation. Only on Terap Radio 87.6 FM. Seeds of South Sudan.
Welcome to Fixing South Sudan, the show where we discuss ideas for building the new nation. I am your host, Madingor, and today we are putting the spotlight on veteran SPLA commander Garang Mabil Deng, who attracted controversy with his speech at the funeral prayers of the late commander Aswad Ajangadwad, sending shockwaves through South Sudan. What prompted General Garang Mabil's passionate remarks towards his comrades? And can South Sudan truly be fixed? General Garang Mabil Deng is here to shed light on what it will take to steer South Sudan towards fulfilling the ambitious aspirations of the SPLM revolutionary armed struggle. Stay tuned as we delve into the complexities and possibilities of rebuilding South Sudan on Fixing South Sudan. General Garang Mabil, welcome to Fixing South Sudan. And welcome back to Terap 87.6 FM. How are you?
Thank you very much.
أنا بسلمك شديد. أنت كويس؟
بسلم كل الموظفين والعاملين بتاع راديو بتاعنا تيراب، وأنا مبسوط شديد عشان نكون في استوديو مع journalist Madingor, such that we hear out what we said in the panel.
SPLA. Okay. Let me play a short introduction about you before we proceed with the interview.
أنا اسمي Garang Mabil Deng شول. أنا مولود في المنطقة بتاع تويتش في بلد اسمه وراق. 2 kilometers from Waraaq, there is a village called Willit.
Fixing South Sudan. And that is the introduction in your own words. And now my first question, and a question that many people are asking, Nas Gatasal. You are well known as a no-drama general, living a simple life in Juba. You roam the streets of Juba on foot, and you speak less. Many people were caught by surprise to hear you speak angrily at the funeral prayers of our late General Jang. What provoked you, and why did you choose the funeral to speak up? الزلك شنو؟ ده سبب شنو؟ يا وانت كلمتوا كلامات ديل. تفضل.
Thank you very much. In fact, that day I was completely emotional to the extent that I said, if Brother Bior could be alive, he was the one to bury me, because I have so many wounds on my body and I am suffering. So death of Bior have caught me by surprise, because he never complained of any sickness. And what I said really that day, death of Comrade Bior and many comrades which I have buried from different states. I took the bodies to different states of our comrades. The death was completely the same. You get somebody dead on his bed, you find somebody who is not sick, tomorrow is dead. It touched my body and it touched my heart. What I said, what I want to continue to say until we get on the roadmap is the way we have started our revolution. We started our revolution as comrades, living together, seeing each other as brothers and sisters bloodily, and we eat whatever we ate. We also drank bad water. We died together. We buried ourselves, and we continue to fight until the day we reach to the ceasefire, and we sign the comprehensive agreement 2005.
So
that model has not been shared again. When we approach the town, we begin to hit each other. We are not seeing ourselves as brother as it was before we signed the peace agreement. But the SPLM have detonated into the mind of our troops, our officers, our population. The reality of the war was that we have to liberate South Sudan. Even though it finished us, the next generation will pick it up and Southern Sudan will be independent. That was the motto.
Since you are still speaking about the liberation, it's a good segue into our topic. This show, Fixing South Sudan, shares ideas about making sure that there is positive change in the Republic of South Sudan. And that is one of the reasons why, and your comrades went to the bush, you are saying, bring back the old comradeship so that you break the same bread as Mengistu used to say. And if you are concerned about fixing South Sudan, let me ask, if we should speak about fixing South Sudan, let's talk about what is wrong with South Sudan and how to rehabilitate the nation. Mishkila bata Junub Sudan, you know.
In fact, I would say a lot of things are going very wrong. They are going completely the way that we were not suspecting here, the revolutionaries, here, the liberators. South Sudan, when we came in, one thing was in our mind. The enemy who fought with us have destroyed the part, and we ourselves will destroy the part. And how to fix it was to come and unite our people, rally them on the objective to fulfill our goals. What is our goals and mission? We have actually, our goal was that we negotiate the peace 2 years. And when we came in, our mission
was to deliver services.
Were to deliver the services. For example, how many bridges we destroy? It is difficult for any revolution. Whatever you destroy during the war, think of your economic, how to fix it, and how to bring it back to life.
And let's talk on the economy. Let me give you a chance to speak about the economy of South Sudan. Currently, South Sudan is facing an economic crisis. The standards of living for South Sudanese are worsening by the day. The dollar has taken up arms against the people of South Sudan. Prices have risen and a large number of people are hungry. What is your take on how to fix the economy?
Okay. The economy of our country actually is depending on the single source, that is the oil. And the oil will not really, will scatter for other things, but the other thing will not be covered by the oil. So for us to fix the economy, and I used to say this in every conference, we have the oil, we have the minerals, we have golds, we have uranium, we have many things, zinc and everything. We have almost about 13 to 25 items. If we utilize, since we came, if we utilize our mining and combine it with our oil, I think we could have fixed the economic and we could have been moving in the right direction. Another thing, we have many factories. For example, we have Malus factory. That was sugar. We have Mangala factory. We have also Wow brewery. We have Wow factory, the fruit factory. And we have also the Toin Canap. We have also Kapoita, Semin. All these things.
A will rise scheme.
A will rising scheme. And so many other schemes were actually, during the southern region, they were put in place and they were not exploited. I thought when we came in, the first thing we could have started was to start with all what we destroyed, because these companies or these projects, were stopped by us. They were not stopped by enemy, were stopped by us. And that was the right thing to do for us, such that we raise them up again, and then from there we fix our economy. Because oil alone will not do everything.
For those who are just joining us, you are listening to Fixing South Sudan with me, Madingor. And the guest in the studio is Lieutenant General Garang Mabil Deng, a veteran of the SPLM War of Liberation, now on Fixing South Sudan, fixing the economy. You may continue.
So we didn't care really about other resources to be exploited, and tip and tip. So those resources remain underground now. We are not benefiting from it. Our people are dying because of hunger. Who is responsible? It is the leadership, which is the vanguard, to direct and to exploit what we have. So the economic we have today, maybe I'm not an economist, but people are saying that it is a debt, it is already collapsed. No. The language of economists is not, the economic does not collapse. The economic suffered, and our economic suffered a great deal. Beyond doubt, our economic suffered beyond doubt, suffered a great deal. And if it is not fixed, it will collapse. Even though the economists are saying it is not collapsed, it will collapse. Because we have nothing. We have nothing in hand. We also, the oil, when we talk about the oil, people thought that the oil is something very big with a lot of money. But if you come to make breakdown, you will find that the oil is not sufficient to cover our needs. Because this oil, part of it goes to those who are extracting the oil, the companies. And then would come, we will make 100%. This 100% we divide it again between us and our brother in the north. What will remain with us here will not be enough to cover our needs. And the worst part of it, we are not producing a state. We don't have a single factory, and our population is redundant because of small war here and there. They are not allowed to cultivate, to produce food for themselves. And if there is a surplus, at least one can sell it out to buy clothes or take the child to the school. All these things are confound the economic, and from there, our people are dying. So who should we blame? Is the government. Government should be blamed. And to blame the government, I think it is the responsibility of everybody. It is the responsibility of the government, of the citizens, and those who break away. Those who break away. I don't know they were fighting for what. Yesterday they claimed they are the leaders, promised a lot of things that when we capture the state, we will do road for you, we will do the school, we will make you to be very happy, you will get everything that we have in our country. But in fact, who is getting now? Even myself, I was a political commissar. What we used to tell our soldiers, from Dr. John downward, we used to tell them that when we capture the state power, and you are not, you don't know anything, and you don't know to read and write, but make sure we are going to put you as a manager for the company. How will it come? To bring somebody who is literate and put him a manager. And the company is a technical one. It needs somebody who have a knowledge to run the business. So the lies we made during the war, we made it because to keep the moral. But it's not the time now to continue making lies and telling people lies and over lies. But they are dying.
You mentioned South Sudan's overdependence on a single resource, a single commodity, which is the oil, and now it is affected by the war in Sudan. The flow, the entire production in Upper Nile, in Paluj, has been affected, and that is part of why we are seeing the skyrocketing prices in our market. You are saying, let's diversify our economy. Agriculture is an alternative, but we have not turned to it. So what do you say about the collection of non-oil revenues?
To diversify our economic, I think, as I said it before, during the crisis I was in Malakal, specifically on the oil field. My worry is that should our people destroy the refineries, or they destroy the oil field, then Southern Sudan were into process. And those problems now are facing us. Come to agriculture, for example. Our land is a fertile land. Even Loito could Musumar better Musumar Bugum that borough. Le anina kale nina yani kale nefis ne kun yan wali anu rabuna adana yani country malian be kule haja. Agriculturally we can feed the well, not ourselves. For example, those days, Rus al-Amolifia Wilda was the best rice. Lokan jit darjana and mashrob ta Wilda, wa amal da mashrob ta Wil, we will not think about hunger. But the worst part is this. 1,000 or more than 1,000 tractors were brought to diversify the economy. These were intended to be used such that we produce food for ourselves and we make the surplus. These tractors end up in the market. They were brought in, distributed, and then they were sold out. And what pained me really, there was no supervision from the top. People were not supervised to ask the governor, what do you do with the tractors? And I remember that time one state with 25 tractors, it is enough. There are countries even with 5 tractors and they are producing a lot of food. What about 25 tractors? You just take them, distributing and among your in-laws and yourself, your brothers, and then sell it out, leaving people dying. Which country can do that? To bring the tractors and take them to the market instead of plowing them to produce food. One. Number two, the agriculture we have now, if you, for example, you just go to Magwe area. If you cultivate a small acres in about 2 to 3, you will get a lot of food from it. Go to Yambio, go to Ye, go to Meridi. Those areas are green throughout the year. And we can produce really, if we are not intended to destroy our country, we can produce a lot of food. A food that we can sell it out to other countries. We are better off, but we are not off. We are taught to eat free of charge. That is UN. And UN, they have destroyed our country. We don't need a food for UN. Let us suffer such that we go back to our farm and make something for ourselves. We help ourselves. We accepted the food from UN those days because it was war. But we don't have war now.
Let me ask you, to fix our economy, is it about doing the right thing, or is it about ensuring that there is accountability, that the resources, they go into their intended purposes?
That is a good question. There is no accountability at all. And for me, I think we are the government, yes, because we have all the structure of government and we put everything in place. But the way we are running the government, I don't think there is any government should be run like that. I worked with Sudan government for 13 years. Now, if, for example, you have a project today, that project can go up more than the real time it was meant to finish. In the project you have the day you start and the day you finish and give it to the people. So there is no accountability in what we are doing. Things are going to the hand of the very few people, and those few people, and they use it for themselves. And they took it as a prerequisite. They think that they are much better than other citizens.
As a privilege.
Yes. Now, some people say, okay, and chameleon, where do you get this million? These millions are meant to go and do the work. But if you go away with this million, put them on your bank account, and then begin now to tell people that I am ABC, then it will not sink into our mind. Because inta gata durra dola zato, gata durra dola, wita budurra nasa gitu ma bayarfu. So accountability mafi completely. At the level of the government, there is no accountability. And that make everybody people broad. In Southern Sudan, I want to tell you one thing. If you are a very good theft, you are praised that he is the best. Yes. How can you phrase somebody who is taking a yard to the nurse by mistake or intended to take them, and you praise them that he is doing the good thing? He's not doing the good thing. Aramiyat should be accountable. If it is Garang Mabil who is doing it, I must face the justice. I must face the justice such that people know there is a law and order. If there is no law and order, then we are in a chaotic situation.
من كنت بكلم بسيط عن economy بالعربي بسيط.
So economy assassin. زي ما أنا قلت قبل economy ده جا بسمو كيف for example. إني ده بيجوا بيني ده دولار عن سبعة ده لو لزيد نفسه. ولو يتسريت بقر برا أزول بقر عن فيه أكسب تبارك ذا لنا بسمو قال بقر ومبارك في جوبا كان كده. So economy بسمو بمشي هناك. معناه يعني في حالة ده أجاد يعني ماشي لفوق وسالاريز القاعدين معنا بسيط ما بكفي الناس. So كلام بتاع economic ده دار ناس يعني يكون راس بتاعهم من فيه. economic ده الناس هو بيعملوا. لو دارين يعني بلدان يكون كويس نرجع للزراعة. ده الأساس. بقولوا يعني الرئيس الدولة ذاته ده مظاهري يعود الرئيس الدولة لأن ده دولة بنتج فود بنتج حاجة للناس. سو مظاهرين ديل من يشتوا أو ألوية ديل أو ناس. فلو دارين نعملوا كده نرجع للزراعة. نرجع للزراعة ونحن نعمل تحقيق لأن هذا بيو تراكتورات برا. هذا بيو تراكتورات ديل برا لما بيأكان. These are the property of the government. They are mola sharp. They are mola sharp cannot be left to individual. Yani ashanuman yamshi biu traktorat bara ujabu traktorat da ashanuman yani yantaj uyazid yan maisha batanas.
Shukran jazilan. You cannot talk about fixing the economy without fixing the security situation. If someone wants to go and farm, they get killed in the countryside. Some people, they go looking for charcoal and then they get killed. Without improving the security situation and the rule of law in the Republic of South Sudan, the economy will not get fixed. What changes are needed? Welcome.
الصلاة ذاته عشان تبقى مأمن ضمن بدي صلاة لزول ما مسؤول بصلاة وما مدرب لأن الصلاة عنده 7 قوانين 7 قوانين ديل لو إنت ما عرفوا إنت ما بقدر بيشيل صلاة الآن من الكرب في دولة بتاعنا كرب في يدينا because الأصل كله ماشي ليد بتموتنين أصل كله ماشي ليد بتموتنين ما في عسكري أصلا عنده الصلاة ده إلا عسكري قاعد يعني مسك نفسه في وادة لكن كل عسكري باو صلاة بتوع برا ولا صلاة بتوع يعني ودوه في مخزن وجا باو برا الامن لو دارين نكون يعني امن مستتب كلا نينا يعني نعمل ديسامن. انا اعرف ديسامن هيكون في موت هيكون فيه خساره لكن people should be disarmed. Look at Rumbek now is all right. Look at في وراب لما لنا ين كان فيه هناك لنا ين حاجه ماشي عملوا في وراب يوكل رومبيك يكون كويس لانه الناس بتوع وراب ما قبلوا وكتوا امن في المال بتاعه. الامن ده لو ما في امن في البلد ما بزول بكون هنا ما بزول بكون قوي. Law and order is the best thing for the government to keep. What is the government? Yeah, government مثلا يعني the order, the law and order. Government the law and order. What government لو إنت ما قبلت الكلام ده government بيعمل الاثنين حاجات. Government يعني بقتلك وبعمل لك prisoner. ومن بسجنك ولو ما قبلته بقتلك. لأن ده قانون. حاجات ما في. حاجات ما موجود. لو حاجات في ده هنا كان قاعدين في SPLM. يا أخي زول شال بيت جداده. لما المجاة بتاع 98 و 98 و 89 إذا شلت بيت جداده لازم تمشي للدروة هناك يدربوك because إنت برا كده أحسن تموت عشان أنا بقى 10 ديل يكون قاعدين. فالأمن بتاعنا ده شجعنا نينا أمن ده شجعنا ولو دارين أمن يعني عشان يرجعوا في ماله. نرجع في اكزامبل لاننا قلنا قبل شويه في اصل في رومبيك هسه ده انت ممكن تدور رومبيك بالليل تمشي وراب بالليل تمشي واو بالليل عشان يعني امن ده دارين يرجعوا في المال بتاعه. امن لو ما برجعوا بكشم امن برجعوا بقانون والقانون ده يشد معك لو تقبل ولا ما تقبل يا كمك وديك في سجن ولا يعني يا كمك بشنك ولا برصاص. ده هو طريقه نينا بجيبها. نمبر 2 كان نينا ما عملنا ما بزول بصره. زول بصره وين؟ لو انت مشيت زرع انت بموت. لو انت سوقت بقر بتاعك انت بموت. لو انت مشيت مثلا يعني شلت بضاعة بتاعك انت ماشي لمنطقة تاني من يقوم منك وانت بموت. فنمبر 1 الامن ده يكون مستتب تمام عشان المواطنين يرجعوا في البيوت والمواطنين يرجعوا يعني في الزراعات بتوعهم.
Fixing South Sudan.
Not في بونغو. I was one يعني selected by Ethiopian ندرب مؤمن سوا لأنا بعرف عربي ومن بعرف بينادا. فأنا كنت أو ما أشتغل جوا كل.
Fixing South Sudan.
Welcome back to Fixing South Sudan, your ideas for building the new nation. I am Madingor, and with us in the program, General Garang Mabil Deng, a veteran SPLM War of Liberation, and he sounds up on fixing South Sudan. We have started with the economy, and he has given his view and ending by saying accountability will ensure that the dividends that were promised during the War of Liberation will be given to the people. And without security, rule of law restored all over South Sudan, nothing will change. You wind up with the issue of how to rid South Sudan of insecurity.
Number two, Gibel and Makalam to few, the Kalambata Tamur. Al Tamur de la Assassin, the constitution Betana is forbidden. Lakin Tabana Tamur, de she a little more control. But for me, I want to know the reason. For example, and in a SPLM, tomorrow, lama ja selena da, ana mama na farm, zola shakil umbari bi ajila nas, wa lela da, raja salah kaman bardu le zola kan hu bi harru, ana ma ga shub kalam da sa, lo ini na mashakil. Let us follow the civilized world. Things of today are not done by tomorrow, are done by debate. Let us debate them. Let us bring them to the table and we debate them. We debate them seriously until we get a solution. In rather taking arms and turn the arms again to somebody you liberated yesterday. Somebody who contributed his son. Somebody who contributed Malwa Tadura. Somebody who contributed Simsim, Granite, somebody who contributed to carrying Zakira to the distance. How can you kill those people who yesterday promote the revolution and they were the vanguard, feeding the army, bringing the medicine by their own, sending them to the enemy, collect the information and bring it to you, such that you make a good plan to defeat the enemy. For tomorrow day assassin, I condemn it without reservation. Any zol, Yamal tomorrow, Leana, with this old SPLM, and go yani the Masa, and have to refrain from that. Calamity tomorrow. Tomorrow, the door of attack. They get Sudurak under the shackle and the door of attack.
Tani al Bishaja wa tomorrow, Zol Bemerudu. Bemshi Gaba, Oberija, Bobodilo, Uzifa, they use them in incentive al Mujud fi Tomarut.
Belagi de Kalam de Sa, Lakin Kalam de Jai Cave. Lano Tomurud assassin in the constitution, Matana Baguliani, Zakan Talata never or Arba never comes a never. Yan Kon Nafis would in army and government by force, and then the whole country will rise against them and beat them. Put them in prison if you are alive. But one thing happened. Our country seem to be a new country, a new independent country from the other corner, especially the international community, the so-called international community. And our Africans, when they come to the agreement in Southern Sudan, they use a word of dividing people, and as such, they reward somebody who does wrong by giving the position like this. Let me tell our people here, SPLM, SPLA, ya gasam na fizu ne. Dan muri gunu butane da mashi le taksim albamur da damuno. SPLM IO, SPLM mainstream, SPLM and DC, PSL kam. Itu junubin matak balu kalam zere. De kalam fare kalis. ما في IO ما في كده وما في كده one SPLM. لكن هم شاطرين شالين سلاح وبقتل الناس وبكره يجي يقسم لهم قال يعني عندك كده position عندك كده position in the rubbish ده ما صح you cannot يعني reward the bad thing to send the bad signal.
And what is the solution?
The solution, we have to come back to the sense of responsibility to debate our issues instead of taking arm. Let us debate the issues on the table and then we resolve them. This country belongs to everybody. I must say, I'm not comfortable with this and I'm not comfortable with that. And then in the middle we will get a solution. Like when we were in the bush, tomorrow, 1991, there was nobody mediating between us. It is we alone until Riek accepted to come back. And when Riek came back, it gave us a momentum and we launched our offensive from the border to Juba. And we managed to attack Juba, even though we have not captured it, we make the comeback. Because when people unite, you will be strong. When you divide it, you will fall. So I would say to
you are saying the SPLM is the problem. Most of the rebellions are fueled by SPLM cadres, SPLM A, SPLM B, SPLM C. There is something called Tumaini now in Nairobi.
No,
what do you say about that?
To
ensure that everybody comes back to the fold.
How can you go and stay in Nairobi and then begin now to complain? And yesterday you were commanding. Yesterday you were talking as a leader. Today, when you are taken away from the position, then you begin to take arm and go and kill people. In nonsense. What is going on now? All these people accepted that they are going to be rewarded. So the country will go like that. It will continue to be rewarded. You come back, you kill people, you are given position. No. Let people go to ballot box. If you are really a person who knows himself that you are going and your people love you, they will bring you. But I will say enough is enough. This call tomorrow must not be compromised. It must be met rapidly and seriously until they lay down their arm. There is nobody who can make it in Southern Sudan here. We know any corner here. But people are election. If you make tomorrow here, and you go say, Muslim, and I want to overthrow this and overthrow that, I don't think. If we follow you, you will lay down your arms. So tomorrow, kali junubina murk tomorrow. Not amal tomorrow. The nas amal embezzlement, very heavy embezzlement. Even though if they are not investigated now, wallahi, they will be engaged in the future. The future will not forgive them.
And can I just say that nobody is clean, whether you are in or you are out, everyone is in the same boat. Can you say that you will support the peace process in Nairobi so that your comrades come back and we agree now on the roadmap for the election?
You know, the wrong thing being done always is selecting the people to go for peace and negotiate. Those who are going for peace, especially those on the government side, they took it as a project. Why I said it, it take time for our people to heal on the wells. Now, if you can see, people.
You're saying let's make the agreement happen very quickly and we come back and build our country.
Well, but what I want to say is this. Like what is going on in Nairobi? Why not taking the colleagues? If you take the colleagues, we meet on the table. We meet on the table as and SPLM members on this side and the other side. We will reach a peace within 30 minutes. 30 minutes we will
The
reach.
colleagues are there. Michael Mokwe is there. Gorgori Denkwaj is there. Rebecca Joshua is there, and on and on. They are also comrades. Anyway.
No, you see, they are there. These are junior officers. You see, SPLM have calculated into their mind those who are like that and then seniority and so on. Let us meet with Thomas Cirillo to tell him, why are you taking harm? When I permit him in Mundri, he confessed that he was killing the Southerners, but he don't know that he was killing his own people. It is record. Now, why is he repeating the same thing? It is wrong. Okay, brother, Mulungawan brother, we are Deng hijack brother, Fagana mom. These are our colleagues. We love each other. We eat together. We love together. We do everything together. We fought together. Today, if we met on the table and we discuss, they know what I have in my heart and I know what they have in their heart. And then we will come to a solution.
The negotiation in Nairobi should be powered by the veterans.
We have
the senior SPLA commanders.
Yes.
And peace will come because you know yourselves.
We know ourselves.
Okay.
If you did wrong, and we will tell you you did wrong. Why you did that?
You're on Fixing South Sudan, your ideas for building the new nation. I am Madingor, and with me in the program, General Garang Mabil Deng, and we are talking about fixing South Sudan, economy, security, and now with security also connected with the issue of rule of law, and we now shift our attention to what is going on in our borders. We fought for independence, and what is going on? The neighbors encroaching on our borders, southern borders. Kenya, eyeing Nadapal. Uganda, deep inside Kajikeji, inside Magui. And where are they going to next? What is really happening? That must be making you very, very angry. The SPLA was a strong army when it was a guerrilla army. And now South Sudan, after independence, is being robbed of its precious land. What do you have to say about that?
You have touched a very sensitive issue. Since we take the independent, and before independent, we were Sudan, one Sudan. Our sovereignty was Sudan, and our territorial was marked with our neighbors. I never heard something one time that there is any one of the neighbors who encroach into land of Southern Sudan. I never heard about it. When I joined the army also, I never heard about it in 7 years. Only there was a problem when somebody called Abu Kodok clashes with Ethiopian by those days. That in 7 years, around 76 to 77. Abu Kodok clashes with the Ethiopian at the border. And it was resolved. It was resolved. There was no fighting, there was no anything. But let us come today, when we took the independence, I think our borders remain the same. It is worse. Like now, borders between Indo Mishkila. Congo lisa maja, Central Africa lisa maja, lakini Uganda ja. Uganda ja, Kenya ja.
Or Sudan.
Or Sudan ja. We Ethiopia and Shway of all. Do you know why? What happening these days? I want to caution our people, to caution our government. It is not easy. It is a big thing. The encouragement with the deployment of about 5,000 troops at the border by the foreign state into your territory is not easy. It needs a lot of things to be done. One, we were refugees in these countries. And most of our people are living in these countries. So those countries, they took upon themselves, since we are divided and we are fighting among ourselves, they should not waste time. They have to make encouragement. When we become peaceful later on, we will get them already to occupy our land. That is one thing. We are vulnerable to the United Nations. We have the so-called army embargo. And these countries are the only countries we can go and get something from them. Now with the embargo, somebody coming into your land, chasing away the citizen, arresting the people, they need war. But are you ready to fight? I don't think. You are not ready to fight. Let us see these three things. We have army embargo. We have our people living in their country in a big number. And our logistics, all the commodities are being brought from these countries. So they have advantage, and we have disadvantage. We are not producing, as I said before, we are not producing our food. If we were to produce our food, our things here locally, no one will attempt us. So the question of border, for me, I have two options. One, diplomatic, to use the international law. Because in international law, and African Union have a mandate to stop one party who is encroaching to another territory or another state. We got independent in 2011, very fresh. Our borders are there. Why this country all the time could not encroach the territory of Sudan? Why today they are encroaching to our country? Is it because we become independent and we are very weak? I think that thing sent a wrong signal.
You are making an important point. South Sudan is landlocked. We depend on the neighbors. We don't have a direct access with Kenya because that road of Nadipal has not been paved. And Mombasa port, that's what we are relying on. And we are using the Ugandan road. So we are totally dependent on them. And that's why you are recommending diplomatic approach to what is happening, to the aggression that is happening.
Yes, that is really because we are landlocked. We are landlocked to the extent that we cannot bring in even a single bag of durra or single bag of maize. We don't have factories with us. And the worst part, the Sudan, which is also bordering right on the other side, is now in a problem. And their problem is they are sitting on our necks here. There is nothing Sudan can help from us now. So the only route we are using is Mombasa. Our children are living in this country in mess. And we took a lot of money to their countries. They built their countries with our money. We are buying their products, their produce, we are buying them We are buying their, we are buying maize from them. We are buying even the vegetable. We are buying from them. They are the one benefiting from Southern Sudan.
Going to the schools, going to the health clinics.
Health clinics, and then
and building their countries.
Everything, their country now, when you go to see the Kampala of those days. I remember Kampala was only, the high buildings were only 5 in Kampala. There were only 5. And in Nairobi, it was not developed. But when I went, recent years, to see Nairobi, which I knew before, and I saw Kampala, which I knew before, they are completely different. Money from where? Money originating from Southern Sudan. How can you fight with somebody who is giving you food, and you are giving him something like education? You give him the route from Mombasa to bring things inside through Uganda. Now compare. Opening the route is not about the money. We are using the land, but we are giving the food to them. We are buying their produce, giving them money to develop their country. Now, which and which? Why do we fight? Again, who is going to benefit? I have seen something which is very dangerous. One, put in your mind, the people who are very close to us, some are very intelligent. What happened during Idi Amin with Tanzania? I think there is a push. My own analysis. There is a push. Uganda know us very well when we are friends. They could have not come into our they could have not come to our country or to our territory and will fight it by force. There must be something. مثل بقول لو انت شفت مثلا الجوين نتا لقيتها ما تعين بجوين اضطر الجوين ذاته لشنو؟ اضطر الجوين هناك ليش شنو اضطر الجوين لما نجي نوت لقيتها؟ so الكل الناس دي لجي في زمن ده شنو؟ there must be something, and we have to make a right decision by collecting the intelligence, and we use that intelligence for our benefit. They are not doing by themselves. There must be a push somewhere.
And that's something, this is the weakest point in the history of South Sudan. There's war in Sudan that has stopped the flow of oil, and that is 90% or 70% right now, because the other side in Upper Nile, in Bentiu, is flowing with a bit of difficulties, but 70% of our oil production shut down in Paloch. And of course, you pointed out the fact that we are landlocked. It's the weakest point, and that is the point where the enemy strikes. Or do you think there's something else?
Yes, the combination of what I said before, encourage our neighbors to encroach into our territory. Why? We are completely very weak. For example, inside here, we are dying because of hunger. The starvation is now next door. People are dying. Take, for example, the army. If you go to our constitution, go to 150 and 51. It defines the army, the duty of the army. And if you come here to 155, it defines the duty of the police service. These are the two armed groups we can protect, internal and external. Judge with external and police internal. 3 weeks ago, something happened in Bill Palm. I witnessed, I seen, where the soldiers collapsed. Askari Waga, Bejan, upon to Jerry Low, Machi Masago, not Jerry Leshare Enak, Machi Jabulo Madida, Askari Dedi Bishaka Amadin. the fighting force must be detonated with everything. One, their logistics will be made available. Number two, their armament will be made available. Number three, the manpower with a good training. For me, I don't fear anything. I am still alive. And if worse come to worse, I will lead the force. I will lead the force. I will not it will not go into my ear that somebody is liberating South Sudan. Nonsense. Nonsense. No one will liberate our territory. Even though we become weak like what, but we are not for the war. We are for the diplomatic solution first. But if worse come to the worst, now what do? Even a woman will not accept. The other day I was listening to people of the border. What they said there, it pained me. Ask their government, what is the government? What is the army? But there is no army. Those people, they know our army is not there. Is not there. Completely is not there. People are receiving salaries, but they are not a fighting force. There is no fighting force now. Let us not deceive ourselves that we have an army. Zero. Zero, zero, zero. I will say zero.
On these border issues, there is a nagging, persisting problem or thought in the minds of South Sudanese. When this nation was being liberated, it was all the South Sudanese who fought everywhere. The land belonged to everyone. After independence, there is this tendency of some people saying, this is my land. And now the border issue, some people are saying, oh, since you claim that the land is yours, then you go and fight. There is that thinking. Those sentiments are with the people.
It is true. Some people may say, okay, go and fight. But let me come to our constitution. What the constitution said. The constitution clearly said, any citizen of South Sudan have a right to live where he chooses or she chooses. If I choose or she chooses, she will live there. And by living there is your country. You are a member of that community. You can pay your taxes, you can pay the pieces because your children are being educated in that area and your needs also are being met there. You are a citizen, totally citizen. I've seen myself a citizen of one country. For example, me, I am citizen to every state. When I go there, I see myself like those people who are living in that state. Because I'm one of them, and I will live with them in coexistence. Now, the constitution will have the constitution. Even people who are holding the big positions are talking about the land. The land is starting in Juba, but it has spread to the whole state now. To the whole states. Even brothers are killing themselves because of the land. Let us come to the agreement, as I said.
To the constitution.
The constitution. And the agreement itself, the comprehensive peace agreement.
Yes.
When the comprehensive peace agreement was negotiated, we have some consultative conferences. Because we make a decision, we discuss everything thoroughly, and then we give it to our negotiators. Written. They should not go out of this, and they should not decrease it. We said we have a problem of land by that time. And problem of land was about the oil itself. Where did the oil was found? The oil was found, according to Khartoum, south of Khartoum. The oil was found in Sudan, south of Khartoum. What is the south of Khartoum? That was a big problem. It was chaotic. For us, we said the oil was found in the Bentiu area, which is one of the district of Malakal. Because Bentiu is one of the district of Malakal. And the oil found from there was found in the south. So we were pulling the rope with our brother on the other side. It came in, this land was an empty land, and according to the law, it belonged to the government. We said no. That land was occupied by people of Ruang. Ruang were there, and they were living there, and the oil was fine in their area. Nuer was there, the Dinka were there. That was the only area. We brought the confusion. Now people are talking, yes, land belongs to the community. Which community? Land is divided into three. One, you are given a plot. Like this plot we are now. We are in this room. This is a plot. You make your house, you make your shop, whatever you want to make in that plot. It's yours. It's given to yours 90 years or something like that. It's leased to you. We have also something called land with a community. Land with a community where يعني مثلا إننا ميلاد يعني ممكن بقار بمشي بياكل فيه بجاي هناك land وإننا land ما occupied complete كله land ما occupied ده land بتاعنا and then ناس land ذاته بقول لو أنت عملت عمارة بتاعك وأنت ماشي لفوق عندك right لكاد certain heights okay لو عندك عمارة بتاعك زي ده land بتاعك الland بتاعكم تاني ده لو في empty place government is responsible for it. لو government ده عمل development government بيجي بيعمل development في المحل ده development ده برجع للمواطنين المنطقة ذاته أول ناس بيستفيد منه. now لما جينا مش الأصل في جوبا هنا وده قروش ده جانبين أو جاب كلام ده جانبين جايين مع قروش بيجوا بيو land so land ده أي زول لقى نفسه فيه لا ده كان بتجديد بتاعي ده كان بتجديد بتاعي ده كان بتجديد بتاعي okay now أجدك ماشي للولايات كله لو land بيجا belong to the people or belong to the community why do we call the government? The government have no access to the land but we know that was being coined by the people. But what we know in our constitution, the territorial integrity is the responsibility of the government of South Sudan. And South Sudan have an obligation to protect an inch of the land of South Sudan. Now, last year people were discussing the encroachment. So, in that discussion, the idea came up. The other people were saying here, what about the land belong to the community? And then people say no. Land belong to the community because inside here, but the borders are being controlled by the government. So land belong to the community is a matter of getting money, but you don't have a right to say it's yours. Another thing, we make that thing to be worse. People complain about land. Land is money. Land gives us everything. Land gives us our food. Land gives us a lot of water. Gives us a lot of things. Aywana rukaza ajar katir buduna. Lekin land al-asl bejai أكل كلام يكون وس في ناس أشخاص بقوم بس يجور قبل بتومن ومن يعني يشيل لين يبيعوا لزول أنا بجي ببيعوا لين لقيته أنا ما بعرف تايتل بتاعي أنا ده قومن أنا بجي ببيعوا أوكي سنتوري كوسول مثلا ممكن أنا نمشي لمجلس بقت عليه يمشي يشوف لي مال بتاعي كان 20 في 30 ودري تالتا ولا 40 في كده يلا بديني so accountability كبيرة لينا بكلم ده land ده بقعد في قانون بتاع constitution حاجة كتبوا constitution أو الناس بيشتغل بيه لكن هذا بيعملوا يعني بيعبروا وتايا بينفذوا براو ده no they have to be dealt with the law because into revenue they can be used for the development but if they go to the pocket of individual where do we get money? Where do we get money? Now there are not Bill Amarat, you tell go white plot will be over at Teletinafar. It will be a few who got Bambal Amara at all. And a government. No one have a right. Only the government should give the land to the people, not everybody. In the government when government is starting from Boma, within a machine like in a national. So that is what I can say about it. That land is belong to the government, and the territorial integrity is the responsibility of the national government with its army. They have to protect the citizen from the interference or the encroachment of the foreign troops.
Let's take a quick break so that you can at least take some water. This is Ring Machakos, Twij Mayadi.
The near in the banda, Pigeon Wanda, Wajan Banda, a Portland in the banda, a Tobeg in a Wanda, a Molapol in the banda, Yam in a Wanda, my Adi in a Wanda. And again, no marine twinda, yeah, and you come marine wonder. And again, no maru wonder, and you know about yin twinda. By Gununa di Gununa jinga tonga, and a Panyamandun. Gununa di Gununa jinga tonga, and a Paratobe. Gununa jinga tonga yena molle bole nyol. The choga war America chagam. Pina yo choga war America chagam. Banda the choga war London chagam. Avoid the yo choga war Europe chagam. Banda the choga war Asia chagam. Mabunga yo choga war Asia chagam. Banda the choga war London chagam. Niger joga war London chagam, adiam mayom the joga war America chagam. Gununa jinga tonga yen maponga yel. Gununa jinga tonga yen.
Welcome back to Fixing South Sudan, your ideas for building the new nation. I am Madingor, and with us in the program, General Garang Mabil Deng Chol, SPLM, talking about fixing South Sudan. And he just wrapped it up with this talk about the borders and what to do about it. It should not be lost on the mind of South Sudanese that there is war in Sudan, and it's still, we are not taking advantage of it. Our borders are still not demarcated. What do we do with Sudan? General Garang Mabil.
Yes, today Sudan is in a problem by itself. As our hero and our chairman, the first vice president of Sudan, Dr. Garang Mabil, said it, Sudan will not be the same. It is true now, Sudan is not the same. The separation or the secession of South Sudan have created negative impact into the remaining part of Sudan. And today, the Sudanese are fighting themselves. Now, our borders, is starting from Raya and then coming down up to side of Dulu Nile. There is this issue of the border for mile 14. Mile 14 is still being contested. The BI, with their own protocol, is being still contested. You go to area of Malakal, there are places contested, and it continues. So now Sudan is in a problem.
Same in Raja.
The same in Raja. With the whole of Pleas, very rich area of uranium is being taken. So Southern Sudan actually is going to fight a war of generations and generation and generation to come. It is not one war. There will be wars and war after war because of the borders. Our borders are rich with mineral, and that is the big problem. Now, if you've seen the area of Kafia Genji, there is a problem. And during the war now, Sudan is divided. And they encroach, or they took refuge, as what our people were doing during the war. They took refuge to Sudan. But Sudan was one, but now we are two countries. Most of the people came to this side. We never talk now about the borders, because even their troops are heading to our areas. When I seen it in a Will area, when they were dislodged from Merom, Babanusa, they took refuge to a Will area, northern Baragazal. So we really have a problem. The problem of the borders, the northern border between the south and the north, is 1/1/1956. And 1/1/1956 remained in all the agreements. I remember in 1972, when the Addis Ababa agreement was signed, there was Article 3, sub-article C, is talking about the border of 1/1/1956. Look, 1972. The agreement,
The Addis Ababa
agreement. Article 3, sub-article C, said the border of the south remain 1/1/1956. And we stick on that thing. We will not change it. Our border is 1/1/1956, all along. Starting from here to that end, from Raja up to side of Malakal, it remains the same. 1/1/1956. Nothing will change. Even if we are not succeed to secure it all, which I think the areas now remain are very minor and are very sensitive, like Afia Genji, is really a big problem. When I was a young soldier, I was in that area. Because the Arab Maralin were just killing people and we were deployed. I know the areas very well, starting from Gongmashar, Tamashil, Majung Dingdit, going to Raja. All the nomad Arabs, they come and graze in our land. And when they go back, they kill people. They rob cattle. That thing now, because they are fighting themselves, I never heard any complaint this year. I was there 1 month ago. I never heard any fighting that took place again, because they have already involved in fighting between the two principals of the Sudan, the vice president and then the president. So 1/1/1956 is our border with the north. 1/1/1956 is the border.
Thank you very much. I think time is going, and we were planning to give our listeners time to call in, but unfortunately, the heavy rains that happened in Juba delayed General from coming here on time. as we promised, 6 p.m. And then there was the issue of traffic jam in Juba. So one of the issues you are passionate about, you also made unkind remarks about the church in South Sudan. You accused them of destroying South Sudan. Can you elaborate on what you meant?
In fact, I am really very keen about this. And I have said it to them. I told them that you are the problem of South Sudan.
Intum Kanais.
Kanais Kulu. I don't know which the Kanais or which Kanais. But the history of churches in Sudan, especially those big churches, Skopje and then the Catholic Church and the other denomination, were very good. They were part and parcel of the liberation. During the colonial period and during the new colonial period, they were being good. But during our war, I began to learn something about the church. The church is contrary to the people. They use people against either the revolutionary struggle or against the government. I have seen it during the war. And we went to Kejiko. We dialogued with the church because church was doing things contrary, things which were not completely good for the liberation. So when we met in Kejiko, in Ye area, we iron out every point that we disagree on it, and we agree with the churches. Now, when I came here, I would have to tell you when we attacked Juba, I managed to come, according to the target given to me, I managed to come in, and I fought inside Juba here. Bishop.
There's Faride Taban.
No.
And then there is the late bishop.
The late bishop.
Yeah.
Actually, Freddy also is the late bishop. And this Lokudu.
Paulina Lokudu.
I am really appreciated his struggle. Paulina Lokudu, when I was around Juba, he used to write. He wrote always a letter and sent it to me. Then you just send this to Dr. John. And when we attacked Juba, he was telling me, don't leave us. Duka nina kulu chantishili Juba bara. It was a patriotic ideas, standing with these people. But when we came inside here, and this division came that and SPLM divided itself and fighting itself alone. The church also divided themselves, and they became rebel, very typical rebel, because they preached to the innocent people. They preached the tribalism to maximum. Even some of us completely we move away from the church, because if you go to the church, you never hear something good. You will hear something about the tribal sentiment, encouraging people to kill themselves. One time, and that's why I said the churches are destroying the South, Bishop Lokudu, they were called, all the peace bases, they were called into a certain embassy here in Juba. They discussed the issues there. The conclusion made, our bishop said, we the church actually are the one opening the blame. This war is being punished by the churches. I said this because one of them was a Muslim. He was in that meeting. He was a Muslim. He knows whether I am telling the lies or I am telling fact. Bishop said that one. Bishop Lokudu said it, that we, the church, we confess that we are the one who make the problem worse. Those who are panning the blame was from the church. And in fact, I will not say that it is everybody in the church. But the majority of the church people are dividing people on the tribal line. What I will tell them is what I said in the big of your sword. That panel, I told them that you are the one destroying the South. And today here in this radio of Terap, I will repeat the same thing, saying them, you the church, reprehend, because you are panning the violence, the division, the hatred. But I thought you will be the cornerstone of the peace. Go to the word of Paul. When God appeared to Paul in the desert, saying, Paul, why are you persecuting my people? Paul has become the good preacher. And that's why now, these are the people now being said with their books. So take an example of Paul. You reprehend, you the church reprehend from the division. Don't divide it your people. All are your people. Without the distinction of this and that, no. I remember those days, the churches were very good. Rumbek, they were being controlled separately. And the priests were staying together in harmony. So don't allow these followers to enter the church and wear the collar and talk anything which are very cheap to be said in the church.
You're on Fixing South Sudan, your ideas for building the new nation. I am Deng, and with us in the program, General Garang Mabil Deng Chol. And we are almost winding up with our interview, and we are now going to tackle the big elephant in the room, Sudan People's Liberation Movement, the ruling party in the Republic of South Sudan. And let's turn to the SPLM. What needs to change in the SPLM? You threaten your senior comrades that you will not give them rest this year. What did you mean with that comment?
In fact, the SPLM is the vanguard of the revolution. SPLM is the vanguard of the revolution. When I say the vanguard, it's the one leading the masses of the South Sudan. In all aspects of life, whether politically, economically, culturally, socially, SPLM is the vanguard. And being the vanguard, it seemed to divert a little bit from the objective that they were following. Why? We, the SPLM, as I said it before, we are the problem of the South, like Kanisa. Kanisa is the problem, and SPLM is the problem. SPLM is the problem because it divided itself into many parties. And they refuse that even to give themselves a different name. They say no. SPLM, Kede, or SPLM Kede. No. If SPLM Kede, then they are not liberators. I will say this. I will not name myself, I am a liberator, while I am turning the guns against my people. I am a traitor, I am not a liberator. I am a traitor. So let us not claim that we are this for the people, we are this for the people. The SPLM is diverted from its main objective. As such, some of us will not tolerate that one, because that is not the idea we fought the war. Children we took to the war, we drive them under fire, are not our children. They are children of other people. But they contribute their children They contribute their ration, they contribute their bulls to fight the war. Now this is a time to compensate what we receive from our masses, our population, so that they know the benefit of the liberation. For example, the way going here to Bor, if you go there and then you come here, you go the way going to Yambio or something like that, you may ask yourself, are we doing enough to please our people for what we have done to them those days? SPLM, as a vanguard, it is not doing the good job for the people of South Sudan. So that's why I said, even if you come, it is not the SPLM. When I talk about SPLM, I talk about the tributaries of SPLM. Tributaries of SPLM, whether the SPLM IO, or the SPLM DC, or the SPLM what, or the Munu, I talk about them. We will not rest. We will not rest. We will talk. We will talk. We will install ourselves. We will, if we fight, we will come back. But there nothing will take us to fight. Let us debate the issues which are destroying our country. The division have completely destroyed our country, and that's why we are vulnerable. You can see the example, what's happening in our borders. It is being exploited by our foreign bodies. Our division make us to be very weak, economically and militarily. Politically, we are not strong. So let us put the house in order. Let us put the house in order, because the house is completely messed up. The house of SPLM is messed up. And I know all the leaders of different parties, which are the party of the SPLM itself.
You went and criticized your party in a funeral when you are a member of the SPLM.
I may say I'm a member of the SPLM, but do I have a right to speak? I spoke, and I will continue to speak, except only interrupt. I will speak on the street because we are not the SPLM that we know before. We are blocked out. We don't have participation in the government. We don't have a participation in the party itself. So why do we speak? We speak on our graves. Our right is only on our graves. That's where we are. We are dying, and we are being celebrated after death. So let us speak our mind before we follow our comrades. That was the right place to speak. Another right place is the place of Dr. John, the mausoleum. Melpita Guberta Dr. John is the place we have a right to speak to. So we don't have a place to speak. Where do I go to speak? I'm not a part of the SPLM. If we were a part of the SPLM, all these people could have been there in the SPLM. But the SPLM is hijacked. SPLM is hijacked. Those who are in the SPLM now are not the SPLM members which I know. No. And I will not compromise of that. We can compromise to give the government to the people. And we don't have a complaint, because the government is for all of us. But SPLM is not for all of us. We can recruit, we can train, but it has to be controlled by the people who found that party.
South Sudan was liberated for all South Sudanese. It wasn't only for the liberators to come and entrench themselves in the government and party structures. So yes, you fought so that others who were in Khartoum and in London can be part of the government or the future government of South Sudan. Do you agree?
I disagree. Why? You know, in every party in the world, the founders always are the one to lead. How to lead? It is because Dr. Deng don't say Galo into kuda jat fi order. Into ga jat fi order. Wita kali zoli yani kuch fi nagda. Mabar wita kateto kubaya wen wita kateto sinia wen wita kateto shunu wen. Umashi nag belak bada jadel bamshi kasaro kulu. Ashan kide SPLM is a party of the people, and it was founded by the people, and being demonstrated by the people, for the people. If that is the say, then I used to say, SPLM, you have no right to disown the permanent members of the SPLM, bringing in people who they don't know the agenda. The SPLM has agenda for the South Sudan. As I spoke on the panel, do they know that what was the agenda? First of all, the agenda of SPLM, when we go and sit, if they accept to sit, we will explain more things. I never explain and what is inside the party, but I seen that party is a hijack and will not be accepted, because if it is a hijack, it will divert from the main course. We have our objective, our mission, and to direct them. Not everybody. I am a follower myself. I'm a follower. I'm not the chairman of the SPLM. It is Salva Kiir who is the chairman of the SPLM, and he is the one to direct. But we have to participate. When we participate, we make a decision. It is the final. We shall be implementers. We implement the policies of the party. But what I seen, it was last year that I completely disagree with our leaders. Comrade Selfa was there, Comrade Kwame was there, Comrade Wani was there, Munu was there, all of them, they were there. When the nomination was done, I was not certified.
The appointment to the political bureau, the
NLC. The political bureau, how can you go to political bureau? Because we have a principle to be a member of political bureau. And we are going to stretch it out when we go for a meeting. If SPLM and we sit together, all the veterans, I think we have a right to run the party. We have the right to run the party because party can recruit and recruit. It is something healthy. But the vanguard should not deviate from its people. We are not a member of the SPLM. We are not called to participate in the SPLM. Who are those the SPLM? Who are those the SPLM? We are the SPLM because we are taught about the SPLM. And we are taught when you capture the state power, what will you do? What will you do with the state? And we have the agenda. And that agenda is not working now completely. So we may come back. We may come back in order to make agenda go through.
One of the people that spoke at the funeral of the late General Bura Jang was the incumbent Secretary General of the Sudan People's Liberation Movement, and that is Comrade Peter Lambot. And he said indeed the initial government was powered by the Liberators. And what was the result? Corruption, embezzlement, and that it is the Liberators themselves who were the problem. And the ones who are now coming in were inheriting what the Liberators left behind. Who is the problem, he asked?
If I talk about the secretary was a very small boy we recruited him. He never fought a war. Let us be very clear. He has been against the SPLM from day one. But he became like a fool in the desert with the God. If he accepts to be a member of the SPLM, he has to learn. We recruit him.
The question is, where is the blame? When the Liberators were in charge, they did not perform satisfactorily. That is the gist of the argument.
There is no liberator. There were no liberators. Where are the liberators? They got themselves with the Paganamo, and that is the SPLM that they form. They never put our people there. They never put, since 2005, we were not there. We were not there. And that is our argument. Pagan could recruit the new people and you move away with the party. You move away with the party, leaving the people. Now, can I say that I will be a SPLM secretary and you don't know? And he never been in one of the school of the SPLM? No. SPLM is not it. Our politics are different. But this party, there are people taught, even our leaders, most of our leaders are not taught about the politics, about the SPLM. We can be frank on this. But we people who were taken and taught about the political party, we know exactly what we can do, because many liberators in Africa, they have a problem when they capture the state power. When they capture the state power, they fail. Because why? You find those who were inside, they infiltrate to them, and they divided them into the clans and sections. This is what happened. When we came, our party was completely taken in a direction that somebody like me, I talked to Comrade Pagan Mom several times. I said, Pagan, me and Pagan, we are very friends. He's a brother. But I used to tell him, the way SPLM being run now, we don't know. Even when we go to the meeting, if I am not a member of political bureau, or I am not a member of LLC, I am an observer, or I am invited SPLM senior officer, senior cadets, I have a right to participate until the meeting. But when it comes to vote, I will not vote. Because I will leave those who are mandated to vote. But in the discussion, I will put my idea, enriching their idea also, then we come to a conclusion. Then after that, they will go. If there is a difference, they will go for vote. But I tell you, the SPLM are not within. Not because they are liberators. No, these are the party. There is no party in the world that you come and change all the leadership, leaving only 3 to 4 or 5. It doesn't work. For me, we will not give ourselves rest on that issue. That is why I said we will not give ourselves rest.
Most of the senior cadres were left in Bilfam, and the law barred them from participating in politics. And you are saying that those cadres should have been the one powering the secretariat of the party.
You know, the SPLM, all the SPLM are commanders, are generals, are everything. We are the SPLM vanguards. Even when we were commanding, there is something called one-man command. You are a political and you are a military officer. When we came, it was very clear, those which were given the army were very clear. There were only 5 officers, 5 senior officers. One is the late Bior, one is the late Self-Matok, the other is Mamur, the other was another was James Hos, and we are Deng. There were only 5. Those remain from all those commands. The rest were put on reserve. And on reserve, they were to join to go back to their party. In the party, they are active there. Okay? In the army, even they are active, but they are in reserve. Everything, when they are called, when there is a call, they automatically leave the political side and they go. And that is what happening up to now. It is a policy. If you are there in the SPLM, should anything attack like what happening in the borders today, and you are called to go, immediately you will go. You will leave that office and you will go. For Brother Lem, I don't know really, me, I don't understand. But personally, I don't have a problem with him personally. Because one thing, I recommend him in so many positions. Why? He married the daughter of William Mon. And I saw him to be my younger brother. And my younger brother, because he married the sister, my sister. The daughter of Mon is my sister. But the boy seemed to be chaotic, and we shall not give him rest.
You are asking for your right.
Yes.
As the veterans.
Yes. We will not give him a rest because if he talk that and the SPLM was like this, the SPLM was like this, the way he selected people, last year I told him, he have been given money, but even if the saliva is tested, you will find that he is doing lies, and I don't follow the lies.
Let me talk about part of the things that you brought up, the issue of veterans. And SPLM, SPLA was powered by hundreds, thousands and thousands of veterans. Many of them now are languishing in abject poverty, not being taken care of. And there's one thing I hear from the veterans. Hello, Guk Bitana Wayne. We fought a long war, and what is our payback? You want this to be solved by the SPLM. Because the SPLM fought the war, there was no government of South Sudan. So the SPLM had debts and liabilities. And the veterans are asking, where is our right? What do you want SPLM to do about the veterans, the widows, the orphans, and even the martyrs?
When I talk about things of the party, we have something called antagonistics and non-antagonistic. Things which are being discussed in the party are non-antagonistic because it is one party. People differ, but they debate. They come to the solution. This is what I am running after Redayot, and that's why I say we will not give ourselves rest. Because these are non-antagonistic, no one is unchasing anyone, but each and every person should be given his right or her right. Coming to this issue, if you go to the liberations in Africa and in Asia, in Caribbean or in South America, all you read them all. When you read them, you will find out these the so-called veterans are not taken light, are taken seriously, because they are being taken care by the nation. And they themselves are also taking care of their nation. Their contribution is endless, even though they are not given the direct assignment or the direct what, they still valid the nation as the only option. What happened to us? It never happened even in Nyanyawan. I was Judge Amarata in Nyanyawan. It never happened to Nyanyawan. And if you go now to find one of Nyanyawan, like Comrade Salva Kiir Mayardit. Salva Kiir Mayardit knows every Nyanyawan by names, and he respect them seriously. He respect them seriously. Somebody who does good, does bad, he respect him. We like that. We like that. That is what we want. First of all, we want the recognitions. Look at this. People now are saying, even, what was the liberation? If you alone, you cannot make it. No. You see, when the Lithuanian going for the referendum, the part of Apar said that they want to be a part of Ethiopia. And they told people of Apar, they said, are you going to vote with against independence of Lithuania and vote for Ethiopia? This is what happened. Apar bought with Lithuania because there is no option. So when people came in, it is the SPLM organizing and mobilize the Southern Sudanese to vote for the independent. It was not in vacuum. It is the same Liberation who organized people, taking them to the ballot box, and they did it. Our Liberators, when we came, as I told you, very few of them were employed. In the civil, very few. But the majority remain outside. But one day, make no mistake, they never talk about the government. They never talk about the government. Let me make an example with we have very senior one, Bonabang. Bonabang, the most senior among those who were redundant. And then he was taken to a rap as an MP. All those with a very good knowledge about the Dara, about even the politics and the army, they were left out. I made it for myself. I said I will respect Dr. John. Even though he's in a grave, he's my commander, he's my comrade, I will respect him. Because I told Dr. John when we were in Urumbek, I told him that I'm not going to participate in the government because I never one time being in a refugees camp. And why I became a reserve, I don't know that reason. For that reason, I will not work. But I will protect the people of Southern Sudan. Should anything happen, I will be at the front. I kept my word up to now. Since I came, I never received a cent from the army. And I don't want that salary. If there is a salary, let it give it to the orphan. I don't like myself. I'm living. I have my children. I have my wife. And I am taking care of many children of deaths and wounded. They are with me. I don't complain. So there was completely ignorant. The veteran completely I ignored. No one is thinking about them completely. But they were put in something called reserve. And do you know reserve? They must have their cars, they must have a house, they must have their salaries with their services. They must have everything. There is nothing taken from them. Because they are reserve, and the reserve just divided into two. The active and the reserve. What these reserve now are dying. Nobody is taking care of them. Only maybe Salva-Kiir, when he hears Fulan is sick, he is the one going to come to help. By his own putting his hand into his pocket. I always said, why the SPLM is ignoring the members, the members of the SPLM? Why ignore them? Why not engaging them in different? Okay, if they are down there, the agreement we reached. They said all those who are in reserve must be given money. At least $100 by that time, or $500. This one are to make their own life. They will be contractors. All the reserve, including the army, which are not active, they will be created a camp. That's why I said, our program, no one's following it. Our army now, as I said it before, we don't have army to meet the aggression. It is because they melt up into the population. The agreement is that we said we create the camps. We create the camps, and then we put all our reserve, we put them in the camp. We give them tractors. They pump for themselves. And then the government now have a responsibility to go and buy from their farm. They buy from their farm, and this money will go back to the bank. They will help SPLM. Again, they will contribute to the SPLM. They will contribute to the SPLM party. They will contribute to the M party to make it strong. They are not there. They are not met. That's why we said we SPLM we have to meet. If we don't meet, we will not keep silent. We will not keep silent. We will not sleep. Even your slave have a right. Your slave have a right to talk. Our citizens are abandoned. The fighters themselves are abandoned. As I told you now, if you can see our soldiers, you will not believe that who was fighting with you and find him now on the street, you will not believe that that is the soldiers you lead before. Why that time we were driving them under fire. We were driving them under fire. Today, if we come, why not and we stay together like before? We have to stay with them. These are our comrades who make us to be commanders even. I'm not be commanders because I fought myself a single alone. No. It is these soldiers who make me to be a commander and command them. It is these soldiers who need me to command them. So they are part and parcel of my life, and we have to be together. Our soldiers, they must be considered. They must be considered. They must be going a road. It was an agreement. All the roads, constructions will be given to veterans. And money will come back. Now our money are given and they are going to Nairobi. Why? Let us go to our policy. And we pursue our policy. If we farm, if we make the construction, we put the money to the bank, this starvation could have not come to us. We could have been a little bit better. But where is the money now? Money are going out of the country. They are not given to the right people to run their businesses. And it was promised. It was promised. These leaders are now alive, and some are not there. It was a promise in 2003, 2004, 2005. We have been meeting in Rumbek consecutively to what we do to the nation. What is the mission? What are we going to do? We have made everything and we put it on the table. So for the veteran, we will talk, we will not keep silent. And not because we talk because there is a veteran. We talk on behalf of our troops, our population, because it is we who were fighting the war, and we were fighting the war on the name of the people. Even, if we said in the SPLM that we are the one who fighting war alone, this is not right. Those who were in Biafra, they contribute in one way or another, either positive or negative. Those who were in the government control area, they contribute. There is no anyone to be left out by this government. That's why I said all of us are a stakeholder in the government. No one should be left out. But if you come and take the portion of the people and deny them their right, I think it's not true. It is not right of doctrine alone. All the doctrine, our troop, our soldiers, our officers, our civilian are doctrine. Our civilian are doctrine. Those who fought, those who were, and our ships. The ships. Yes, our ships, our hitmen, all this is our doctrine. They contribute and they must be considered. Now they are not considered. They are not considered.
You're on Fixing South Sudan, your ideas for building the new nation. I am Deng, and with us in the program, you have been hearing his voice loud and clear, General Garang Mabil Deng Chol. You made a serious accusation that SPLM has been hijacked. By whom and how?
The SPLM is being hijacked. How it is hijacked is what I said before. And I am not going to change that word complete whatsoever the case may be, because we were talking about the hijack in the bush and we came inside. We were always saying that SPLM going to be hijacked. SPLM now, most of them are Mutumar Watani. Do you know how can they pursue the agenda I'm talking about now? Who knows it? No one knows it.
South Sudan was supposed to be New Sudan.
Yes. But in all this, in the party, they said the old cadets are to train the new cadets. Okay? Training the new cadets, it will fix because you will not remain here forever. You train here training up to the lower level. And then it goes like that. But it is not a sweeping. You cannot sweep it. You come and sweep the people out and say, go away, and give it to somebody who am not busy about the and now if I go today and talk about the party which I don't know its objective and its mission and its goals, how will I start to talk about it? No, I will not talk about that. Even in this SPLM, not everyone will go there and command. Why we select Pagana Mom? We select Pagana Mom at the late hours. We said, okay, now we take one of us and we have to lead. We choose Pagan. It's not Pagan who choose himself. We choose Pagan or what we know, and then Pagan choose people. People like those of Comrade Wani, because Comrade Wani was the principal of the SPLM. It was the one leading the SPLM during the war. It was the secretary actually, and even some of us are recommending him up to now. Wani Malu can be a secretary, no problem. Can be a secretary. But let me tell you, Gil, Bilarabi Gil Mabo Fambat. Gil Mabo Fambat. Gil what could it to Mabel Sawa? Mabo Fambat. I want to go to Shino, wana. Let them confuse. Historical people say that they deal there. With historical people there, they have a time to go. There will be advisory bungalows. They will advise. And then you bring the inorganic elements we can run the Nadia. But what I have seen, and like my brother who was talking, he was insulting people in the meeting last year. So I criticized him like Eli Magog. Eli Magog Mikra? Eli Magog is from Binteu. And then we have Agitok also from Western Equatoria. He refused them to talk completely, and they are the active member in the National Liberation Council. He's a dictator. He's not, he cannot lead SPLM. I reject completely. That guy have nothing completely to do with the SPLM because his ideas are not ideas to bring people. We need people and we need mobilizers, those who can be listened and listen to the people. He listened and people listen to him. He criticized and have self-criticism. That is the party. But if you don't have these qualities, how will you be respected that you are leading the move? Even our members, the permanent members, the Anpagana Mom, were being criticized. Sometimes they came without a paper, and he addressed people without. So he was being criticized by his colleague. Why are you addressing us without the written document? Always you come like that.
Important points before we end the interview. The SPLM was fighting for democracy. That people of South Sudan are free. And there's now fear that when you speak, it is a problem. Is that against the principles of the SPLM you join in the bush?
In fact, we are not going to the bush one day. Myself, I want to make myself as an example to the others. In the promotion of the SPLM, if you go to the list, you can get me about 30-something. But is that true? No. We made a concession. We give the chance to others. We said no. We, the majority of the movement was Dinka. I was the only voice saying that we have to give the chance to other tribes to go in command, in political, in what? Shufta. So the democracy does not dictate. But if you dictate people, it is not a democracy. It is autocratic government. Don't dictate people according to your will. And if I have a problem with you as an individual, which is not don't generalize the group. So when I talk about this, it is a democracy. In a democratic party, which I am taught about seriously by the Institute of Republican during the election, party need the new cadets and the old cadet. There is nothing can start without all. There are even in human being. There are three things which are very important. If you don't have Nas Kubar, Nas Ajasim, then you have no right to talk about the history. Even when happened in the border there, if you don't have big people, and you said they are only young people, they will not know what happened 20 years, 100 years ago, will come years ago. You don't know. You must have old people. They are the historian. You must have the youth. You must have the youth. And these youth are the security of the nation. Youth are the security. See, we say with a dinka masala nguli and rinti era kicham kopya the kilo. No, opposite. Rinti epa the kicham tinayan, the kicham kubukuna won't be bent below. So rinti and must do. A youth must be given, must be fed in order if there is something coming outside, it must defend. So in all this,
they should not only defend and they don't eat.
Yeah, they should not, and they should be fed in order to defend. But if you say that they should not eat and they defend, how would they come? Because the hungry man cannot defend. He will be thinking of his stomach. So the democracy, even though the democracy is in problem in the world now, if you can see America now, which complain that they are democratic, nothing. There is no democracy there. It is a political slogan.
It's a system. There is a system.
There is no system.
And there is ideology.
There is not a system. There is ideology. Yes, I believe there is ideology, but it was made to crush others, the weakest one. Is being said. When the Wilson said about the freedoms, it was 4 freedoms. Wilson talked that day about the Second World War. Okay, and he mentioned four freedoms. And these freedoms are misused. They are being used politically. If you want to destroy Mr. X and Y and you are very strong at the Lad Batagawi, you use it that. So for us in the South, we are the more democratic people. We country in this. Okay, in Africa there are countries. I believe in Africa, but in the Western world or in the United States, would they give a right to the death? For us, we give a right to the death. It's not that, but it's to be given a right. His right have to be fazu. Is zojilo mara? Can do bit well. Zojilo mara chan kunendu. Rasbuto guide. We are the democracy by nature. Not a democracy cocktail. A democracy actually from a word concocted from Italy, okay, taken from there. America is amalgamated of many people. Look what they are doing now. What they are doing to Trump. What they are doing now to Biden. What all these things. What is happening in Russia? What is happening in Israel? What is happening in other areas? It is a big problem. The democracy itself is under check and a big problem. The world is in a chaotic situation. Okay? So, coming back to our party, we love each other. We have to love each other. I don't want people to hate their comrades without reason. I myself, I don't have any enemy. I don't want to have enemy, and I don't want to be somebody bad with somebody. But I don't want to do injustice to the others. Injustice completely for me, I don't like it. I don't like the hatred. I don't like the division. These things are completely things which I don't like. Somebody from Kapoita, for me, is a true brother to me, rather than my brother who was born with me. Got somebody from Kajikaji, got somebody from Numale, got somebody from Malakal, from where? These are the true brothers, because one thing is killing us. like this nation is killing us together. So are they not brothers? Are they not sisters? Are they not my mothers and fathers? We have to stay. We have to stick together. To stick together. But those who are just pushing people away from here, there, and there, me, I have shown life with them. I don't recommend them completely.
What do we do about the Jesh Armor?
The Jesh Armor, when we come inside, we put Jesh Armor as number one. Why? We said the whole Jesh Armor are scattered in Australia, in Europe, in America, in Africa. So this Jesh Armor, some went badly, some went in a good way. So our plan is that all the Jesh Armor are given a chance in the whole department. In the whole department. Because this Jesh Armor, they don't go alone. It was the policy to make them go. So we plan that Jesh Armor Batana should be given a chance in all department, and they will be employed. If they want to go back to the army, right. If they want to come to police, any department, they are allowed to participate. So Jesh Armor was the backbone. It was the backbone of the SPLM, SPLA. We consider Jesh Armor up to now, and not that Jesh Armor alone. We consider Jesh Armor, even Jesh Armor who was been fighting and on the street with the stones, is and also a Jesh Armor. We don't segregate those who were inside the fort. Let me tell you one thing. When we brought the body of Dr. John, that day, it shows you Southern Sudanese are one people united under one umbrella. Is it available now? No. What I seen in death of Dr. John, it's showing me that people of Southern Sudan, they understood themselves and they become one people, one nation.
And how can we unite the people of South Sudan under Comrade President Salva Kiir Mayardit, and we are back on track again?
Well, you see, one time it was said that Salva Kiir Mayardit died almost at night. And everybody, without driver, people were running. Big people were running to the camps. And everybody was saying, Kiir Mayardit died. What will happen? Dinka will finish everybody. I said, no. In the morning, we went to him and we told him that if you go to radio and talk to radio, will not be enough. Go on the street. He was going on the street and people pour out in numbers, shouting his slogan. It is not because our people do not love themselves. You know, we walk all the tribes in Southern Sudan, the different are very minor. The different from tribe to tribe are very small. Because Southern Sudanese, they have one thing. If I go today and stay Muslim in your area here, I will be respected more than my area. I will be respected more than my area. The same thing. If I go to Upper Nile. So, what is the difference? What we need is a bad politics. The politics of divided and rules. Our tributaries, and you know why I said tributaries, it is the SPLM. Small like rivers, give corner, kneel down to come at tributaries. SPLM is like that. A tributaries of SPLM are the one cultivated an idea of not plan. No. I say to Garini, not one tribe which is staying here. Everybody is here. That is what I want. I want people to mobilize. And that's why I said SPLM, to be a vanguard, it must mobilize people. One, that somebody who is against you or not against you, is still yours. Madin, we need each other. Even Arami, Bugula Arami, we need him. There will be a day is important. The day Tobeji. Day Buto Aramida, Wu Batala Lelada. Lekin, there will be a day that you think about Aramida, when. Let me tell you an example. We were fighting in Bo, Comrade Jomis, Hosma, Abu John on that side, Comrade Gera and Abajai. Kuburbo was going to be overrun because there is no food, there is nothing completely for our troops to eat. Because population run to South Africa, not to Central Africa, some run away to the melt up in the bushes. And then there was Muslim somewhere that in which were tie-in. For nothing, you know, Jamal, what do we do now? Okay, Columbia, we sat as a group. We brainstormed at night and said, okay, leave it to the soldiers by themselves. They took 2 cars, Majoros Kubar de la Gabanam Manadu, and then they went on their own way. They find magazine, that woman they go to that magazine, and then they took a ration. And in the morning, the ration was already there with the soldiers, they eat. And at noon, the enemy attacked them. They resist Kubarbo up to the last man, to the last bullet. If they were not the one who take that tie-in, who will take it? For us, we don't know. But how do they take that tie-in? Nobody knows. So everybody, we need everybody. If it is blind, it's with our people.
All the people of South Sudan should be united.
United.
They should benefit from the resources of the nation.
Yes.
And do we say under Comrade President Salva Kiir Mayardit?
Yes, Kiir Mayardit.
Because when you are criticizing, they think you are not the supporter of the president.
No. You see, it is wrong. It is wrong. It doesn't go like that. Why do we have parliament? The parliament needs to create, to talk, oversize. Government is the criticism, self-criticism and criticism. It's the government. Now, this is not running away to be criticized. No, even you've seen always being in the Facebook, in the Twitter, being insulted, even somebody who does not know him. Do you know why? When you become a leader that day, Okudaja Perdar Batak, Kana Selfibor, Fiwat Sultan, Amulugunia Besumuto. Laman Amulugunia Besumuto, Mulada Kuto, Gam Dagorazol. Laman Yuvu Makama, Sarul 8 Amulto, the Galo and Wamalgunia and Lami. So Sultan Gam for Gala Yawaledi, Galata Kaltan, Lazim Siginuk, because Anna Sultan Butanas, Anna Sultan Butak, Anna Sultan Tanas, Gal Yomita Lebusto, alarm of the Okumada, Tarbuta Yang Pingala, Chola, Kuyat. This work came as doing, Kulmad is being Chetamu and with Chetamu, he's going with his work. He's going with work. Those who say, Diani, he's a criticized. Kenya didn't do from the top, I'm going to criticize you. They might criticize circuit. Negative criticism does not work.
You are for fixing the country.
Yes.
South Sudan has to be fixed.
Yes.
Have you fixed South Sudan?
South Sudan must be fixed because we have a problem. We have a problem which kills us all. So we have to unite our ranks. We have to unite our thinking, our mind, such that we come together and we stood together as one to face something which is destroying us, whether inside or outside. If we don't unite and stand firm, we will be destroyed. Country Britannia will be taken from us. So let us see ourselves as brothers and sisters, the true brothers. The government is the one leading the people. And the government has the responsibility to protect the people. And the government has a responsibility to mobilize its own people and resources. So it's the duty. If the government fail to do that, they will be criticized.
Commander Garang Mabil Deng Chol, Commander number 38 out of 1,118 heroes, and that list or that column is led by the late Dominic Dim Deng, David Dwal Palek, Daniel Deng Moindit, Garang Mabil Deng, Giri Chuang Aluong, Majanga Gona Tem, David Riek Michush, David Bidit Ben,
yes,
and John Kutemud, and more and more. Thank you very much for coming to Fixing South Sudan.
Thank you for my brothers. My brothers, God bless you, because you are working for your people. You have not eaten, even suffered. You are suffering to fix the things here, such that your people hear about what is going on. I thank you all under your leadership, Mading, who is also my uncle. I'm subordinated to him.
Thank you.
I must respect him by all means.
Shukran.
Because he's my uncle. Yes.
Thank you.